I'd like to introduce Thursday's topic by showing you a specific moment of the game where everything starts. Let's look at your structure from goal kicks, when oppositions take goal kicks, and in particular, how long it takes you to go into any type of structure. So there's a throwing down the line, which goes out. Okay, so it's a throwing, so we are on 20 minutes and 41 seconds. You've actually scored around about 2 minutes ago or so. The game started after 3 minutes in this footage, and I apologize for the quality of the footage. So we are around about on the 18th minute of play. Now watch the clock and watch what you do. So it's been almost 15 seconds, 14 seconds to be precise. And this is the best structure that you've been able to come up with, which really worries me because you can see that the keeper is about to kick the ball on this side and there's no one here. If we play on for a few seconds, what worries me is, again, the fact that we got two holding midfielders solo. We got the back four here, and we've got the forwards scattered in such a manner, and we are already after about, as I said, 50 minutes of play, so stretched. I know that probably poor Mr. Birch got injured just a few minutes earlier. I think it was exactly after 15 minutes. But still, I believe that we can definitely do better than that. This analysis is just the way I divide the pitch according to sections on the field. So we are the white team here, and this is pretty much our setup. When oppositions have a goal kick, what we could do is the following setup, since we are in a 4-2-3-1 formation. And let me show you how we can now make our, let's call it organized press, but I would call it our opportunity to improve our ball ability to press the ball in the opponent's half, denying them time and space, and obviously possibly win the ball back. Can we direct the opposition into a certain area of the pitch? This is your setup. As soon as the opposition plays the ball out, like that, which is usually what we want the opposition to do. If we go into this formation, we are likely to allow space for them to think that they can play out. Again, as soon as that is played out here, let's look at what happens if they play the ball to your left. We need the number 9 not to make a run straight, but peel in between the goalkeeper and try to take the ball carrier from behind. So he's going to take a touch forward that way. And we need to ensure that this player that's made this run positions himself from behind for one simple reason. He's on the number 4, so the opposite central defender would have probably moved out as well. We need to ensure that these passing lanes are covered. If you think about it, if you have someone chasing you from behind, you're not likely to turn your back and try to square the ball across, and vice versa. In this case, the goalkeeper is completely out of the picture. So these two players, or the task for the number 9, is to make that run and block 2 passing lanes, possibly even 3, because there will be another option here, the number 5, but that's another discussion. What happens as then our number 9 makes this run? And I take this away. It's quite simple. Number 1, the left winger needs to go and block the fullback their fullback. Very, very often, automatically players will go and position themselves in here because they think they will take space. In this case, you're not marking space, you need to mark a player. So you'll have to go there, making sure that he does not overtake you, and that if the ball is played down, you are in front of him. Or better, as the ball is played, you need to make sure that he becomes not a viable option for the ball carrier. When that happens, and while, so 1, 2, and then what should happen? Number 3 is it becomes man on man, like that. So if they play with 1, 6, we got the 10 on the 6, and so on, it becomes so that you will be liable for picking up your player. The number 7 shouldn't go deep, but immediately populate this area, just to ensure that if the number 5 goes really, really wide and he's tracked, and possibly take up this space in such a manner that should this player have the time to take it on his right and switch it, he will see that there's a player there and probably will not do it. And if he does it, it will be at his own peril because we got a player there. This player will most likely either bounce, or I can assure you, as you will see in the future, he will bounce here. And this is why we will have our left back, which is in your case Hamish, to make sure he's on this player. And truly, in most cases, he's facing backwards. So they will try to combine, but it's 1v1. And in most cases, we should be able to recover the ball. Very, very often, because of the quality of the players, quality of the opposition, the ball goes out on a throw-in. Now, when that happens, of course, we need our defenders to shuffle across. So their 9 is also monitored. What could happen, of course, is that becomes a long ball, and this introduces another important topic of discussion that I will need to have with the central defenders. I know you're smart, but just in case, I'll show you very quickly what happens when the ball is played on your right. So the ball will be played. As soon as that happens, you should know now already. So the number 9 makes that run. Automatically, he blocks the fullback, and he becomes 1v1 here. And we will need to have our back 4 move shifting across. Then number 9 will obviously come across as well, and just make sure that we are ready to win the ball here. And let's not forget, our 11 will have to track this area just to ensure that the ball is not played across. Now, someone will then say, but what happens in case he's able to take a touch, go forward, he's a good left footer, and he's able to switch. Well, if they've got a player that can switch the ball by 50 meters and pinpoint it down here, well, that's another issue. That's something that we cannot prevent. But first, I want to see that happening. Now, in live situations, so when it's not really a goal kick, but we are applying some sort of a medium block, what I've just shown you can also be utilized. So there's a square ball across between the two central defenders, and sort of what we need done. So he will be pushing that player out, blocking that passing lane and that passing lane. And we will need Kaz here already. And in fact, this is a positive example of what happens, because we sort of you almost do that inadvertently. And that's exactly what needs to be done. So that run, he delivers the ball. Kaz is ready. In this case, my good friend George, that I used to coach years ago, decides to take a touch in. And because of the way we are set up, okay, it'd be better if this player is marked from behind, we eventually we eventually win the ball back in their final, or on the edge of the final third, which is the objective. We'll discuss that further on Thursday. Goodbye for now.